Hello, my friends. Did you know that if I start my video with this big smile, when you look at yourself right now, you are actually smiling? Did I actually make you smile? How cool. My friends, in this video I want to talk to you about something very basic, which is to get your mix right when it comes to live looping. I was listening to a song by John Mayer, so the organ was still playing when the song ended, and I noticed that it was very faint, at a very low volume. When I'm recording a song in my computer, I don't have the guitars at full volume. When you record a guitar at 100% and then you record another guitar also at 100%, what you end up is 200% of guitar. So I realized, oh, okay, so if I'm gonna add to my mix 3 guitars, then I have to keep them low because they're gonna add more decibels to my mix. It sounds kind of obvious and kind of lame to talk about, but when it comes to live looping, a lot of us make the mistake, I made this for years, that I record my guitar at full blast at my performing volume, and then I record another guitar at the same volume. Only when later, when I record my show and I'm listening to my mix, I realize, wow, my guitar was really loud. I couldn't even hear my voice. Well, that's because I was supposed to record the guitars at a very low volume if I'm gonna keep adding to my loop mix. So if I'm gonna be adding percussion and shaker and all of these things, you set your levels right before you record them. That's the thing about live looping. What makes live looping different from recording at a studio is that you can record at full volume and then later bring it down on your software, or I use Logic to record in my computer. But if I'm recording in front of an audience and whatever I'm recording is gonna stay that way, I mean, if you use a loop station like the one I use, the Boss RC505, every track has actually independent fader. You can afterwards, after you recorded a guitar in track 3, you can bring it down if you want to. And if you record another guitar in track 1, you can bring it down. As a good habit, in my case, I like to lower the volume of my guitar when I'm gonna be recording a few guitars. If I'm gonna be recording the shaker, I use a level that I know is gonna be perfect once I add more percussion. So I use a lower level. So I hope this makes sense to you, but it is a good idea to think, what level will I want this to be before you start recording? So you don't blast your audience with all these sounds that are gonna eventually add more decibels to your entire mix. Here's something funny that happens to me once in a while, especially at private events, if the person who hired me has never seen my act or they're not familiar on how I live loop. I was playing at a farmer's market, and you know, playing at a farmer's market, you're expected to cover the entire market or to have your volume loud enough for everyone to hear. I start with a very gentle guitar, so I can then add a second guitar and then add the rest of the percussion and everything. And so I had the person who hired me to play at this farmer's market come to me and say, oh, louder please. Yeah, louder? Okay, you got it. It's gonna go up because I'm building the loop, but I'll turn it up more. But it's kind of hard when you're live looping, it's hard to explain this. Sometimes I expect to hear your full sound when you're just getting started with your loop. So if you live loop, you will probably run into this, but I'd rather have someone think I'm not loud enough, and then a couple minutes later, that person realize, oh yeah, it sounds perfect. I'd rather have this than play too loud my guitar and then another guitar too loud and end up with something that is unbearable. So this is my advice for the day. If you're getting into live looping, set your volumes right, your levels right, so your loop sounds like if you were listening to a studio recording. I always keep in mind, if I was to record, which for the most part I do, if I was to record this live looping show, I would like to be able to listen to it later and not have to do anything to it, perhaps just compression and that's it. I want to know that whatever I'm playing live, it's how I would like to listen to it later with headphones. That's pretty much how I live loop, keeping that in mind. I hope this was helpful to you. Keep looping, keep having fun. I'll see you guys in the next video, my friends. Goodbye.